Life Audio.
Today on Talk About That, John can't find the remote until he finds his glasses and defends his love of McDonald's. Meanwhile, I feel old after a conversation with a young comedian and tell you the story of the time Winnie the Pooh went on trial for assault in the 80s. Plus a conversation about the late great author and theologian Brennan Manning and what it means to be a Ragamuffin. Today's episode is not sponsored by Black Licorice, for people who love candy but hate themselves.
Jonnie, the long, dark night of the soul is over. We're back.
Yeah, it was a long week off.
Yeah.
2 weeks, I guess, for the person who listens all the time. We had people reach out and be like, what the heck?
Well, it's just one episode. I missed one episode.
That's what I mean, but it's 2 weeks. So it's a week off, so it's been 2 weeks since they've...
So to them, it was the dark night of the soul. Not to be dramatic, but...
That's a little self-aggrandizing.
It was I think that was St. John of the Cross.
Was it?
Like the 1500s, yeah.
You got new frames. I just noticed it.
I've had
a little blue on black action.
I couldn't find glasses the other day, which is a very common daily.
Do you ever look and they're on your head? Do you do that yet?
No, because things won't stay on my head. It's bald.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's not got any gription or anything?
Nothing gription up there. But I can't. I don't know if you're frustrated by this.
Probably.
But I just want to see things.
Okay.
And without reading glasses, anything like within 3 feet, I can't really see anymore.
You can still see up close though, right? Are you far away vision?
No, I can see far away, great.
Oh, your far away vision is good. See, my far away vision is what's bad.
So if I want to find the remote control,
right, I
got to have glasses.
Really?
If it's in the covers or something, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm just frustrated. So then I got to find glasses.
To find something. And I'm like,
you got to get like, hey, I sent you something. I'm like, now I got to get up and go find glasses because
you don't have glasses nearby.
Well, that's the point of the story. Is
I
now try to keep glasses. This is one of the pairs I found to just stick all over the house. And I don't even care if that sounds like an old man story. That's just what it is.
It really is, man.
I'm staring at a computer screen.
It's a blind man story. That's not. You can be young and still need glasses.
Well, but reading glasses?
Yeah. Well, but yeah.
I don't know. I had perfect eyesight till like age 40.
Yeah, that's when mine started going downtown. I didn't know what was happening. I was with Evan, who would travel with me, who's young. He's got young eyes. Mm-hmm. And he would be my little navigator sometimes. And I noticed that he would be like, this is the exit. And I go, well, hang on a minute. And then about 100 yards later, I'd be like, yeah, that's the exit. Uh-huh. And then finally one day I looked over and I go, are you seeing? He goes, yeah. And I realized, oh no, I'm blind.
It reminds me of that Seinfeld where he's...
Costanza's convinced
he thinks he's seeing raccoons.
Yeah.
Those aren't raccoons, those are mailboxes, you idiot.
I didn't have the heart to tell you. I was spotting those raccoons. I have perfect vision. Oh, George.
Do you think it's squint down to 2010? Is that what he said?
I can squint down to 2010. Dude, so speaking of feeling old, I had a moment the other night. I don't want to out the comedian because it's not her fault. It's my fault for being old. And when I tell this story, it's going to sound like I'm shaming the young generation for not being whatever and being in touch with their history.
Well, we could do both.
But there's a comedian in the Nashville scene who's blowing up, and I'm very proud of her, actually. She's doing well. Her name's Amber Autry. And she just did the Bijou. She filmed at the Bijou in Knoxville, where you went to school and where she went to school as well. And it's my hometown. She did 3 sold-out shows at the Bijou to do her recording. So she's really blowing up. She's had a little Netflix little introducing kind of special where it's like an 8-minute thing, and she got that last year. Wow. So we're talking in the green room, and she's probably she can't even be 30 yet. She's 20, mid-20s, just full of energy, just full of hope. And it's all these other comedians in the thing because it's for the Nashville Comedy Festival week, right?
Right.
So it's me. I walk in. It's me, Greg Warren, some other older comics, and then Amber's over there. And then there's a few middle-aged comics, but there's a lot of just young guns, in there. And I'm like, all right, well, here we go. And so it's fun. It's fun to kind of talk because you have this in common with them, and you go, well, we can all talk comedy. But then you just realize, even with comedy, there are some things that she just does not. She did not know who Albert Brooks was. Like somebody says, well, Albert Brooks is here. And that's the only one that I really want to go see. Because they were talking about what shows would you go see as a comic? Because it's a comedy festival. Nashville Comedy Festival, if you don't know about it, there's 55 shows in town this week at different venues. It's unbelievable time.
Yeah.
and gigantic shows. And so you kind of have to pick and choose. And I'm out of town a lot of it, but I was home to do a show this week. And I'm coming to the Albert Brooks show because he's a hero of mine. I grew up loving his movies and just I have such respect for him.
Is that at Belmont?
It's at the Fisher Center.
Yeah.
And so somebody says, oh, the Albert Brooks. And she goes, I don't know who that is. And he goes, okay. Well, the guy who's moderating, it's a guy named Kevin Pollak. And she goes, I don't. And he goes, well, he was in a movie called A Few Good Men. Do you remember A Few Good Men? And she goes, I know it's a classic. I don't. And I'm like, man, we're just batting 1,000 on old. I mean, we just sound so old.
Yeah.
And then I start talking to her about her special. I go, you filmed at the Bijou. I said, were you happy with it? I said, that's amazing that you sold it out 3 times, first of all. Young comic, you're killing it on the road. We're so proud of you. And she goes, thanks. It's really been fun. I'm really excited. And she goes, I'm really happy with it. Because I asked her if she got the footage back. And then I go, that's cool. I said, I go, did you self-fund it? Because I had a feeling she had a bunch of money, outside money involved. Because she's really getting big now. Yeah. She goes, no, I self-funded it. And I go, oh, man, that took a lot of guts. Like, yeah. I go, I self-funded my first special back in 2015. We recorded it and released it in 2016. It was at the Franklin Theater. And she goes, oh, whatever, let's go. And she was all excited for me. And then I go, we made the DVD. And I go, I was able to make my money back because I was selling DVDs. I was touring with another comedian named Tim Hawkins who would do these big venues. And he would let me sell my product there. And I could sell DVDs. And she looked at me. She goes, DVDs?
No way.
She knew what a DVD was. But she goes, so wait a minute. Your special was on the DVD? I go, yeah, Amber, that's how people put their specials out. And I said, you would have.
What is she selling at her
I go,
table?
you would have nothing. I mean, she has she probably has T-shirts and whatever. Yeah. People don't sell DVDs anymore.
No,
even I don't.
No, but I'm just.
But I'm saying, she's so young at comedy that she does not remember the DVD era of specials.
Wow.
Now, there were people who, even in the DVD era, like Nate, when Nate was blowing up, he was kind of almost jealous of me. He would say, so you sell your special at your table? Because everything he had was property of Comedy Central or property of, and so you don't even own, you can't go sell DVDs of it because it's there, you're beholden to what they do with it. So I get that there were people like that, but most people were like, here's my special, here's my thing.
I mean, poor Nate, by the way.
I know, this guy
only could have had what you had.
If he keeps working, he's going to go full-time one of these days. But no, but it's interesting, just hearing her and having to explain, and I felt so ancient.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. And I said, the crazy thing is I got out at the right moment. I had DVDs, but then I knew that it was ending. I knew that the pandemic was going to finish it off. Everybody's going to be stuck in their house streaming everything. And I sold the last of my DVDs just in time. So I wasn't I know a lot of comedians.
They got a warehouse full.
They have a garage
of
DVDs. And she goes, whoa. And I go, worse than that, I know comedians with a garage full of VHS.
Ooh.
They didn't even get out of VHS before it went to DVDs. And she was like, yikes. And we were just talking about it. I just thought, what a weird thing. We have this huge thing in common. And yet generationally, she was looking at me like I had 3 heads.
Yeah. Because
I had my special on a DVD. I think she was almost jealous of it too. Almost and again, I can't speak for Amber, but she was almost like, oh, that would be a cool side money. Oh, yeah. And it was.
For the time.
It really was.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm getting ready to do this. There's a thing next year I'm doing called Praise Fest or something. It's one of these Southern Gospel things at Silver Dollar City in Branson.
Okay.
And guess what? I'm pressing some CDs.
Absolutely.
I'm taking them with me because they still buy physical media.
Yeah.
They're still that kind of demographic. So they still want a tactile thing hey, can he sign my DVD? Can he whatever? And they have DVD players in their house. Whereas everybody else is just I want to hit a couple buttons and be watching whatever I want to watch.
Do you still have a DVD player?
It's in my garage. I never unpacked it. We moved in 2017, and that was the last time.
I think I just threw mine away in my bedroom. It was just underneath the clock.
Yeah, it's just a thing. Isn't it funny, man? It's just wild how things just keep moving. And eventually it'll be, I don't know what will be the next thing. They zap stuff into our head. We don't even need our head's the cloud.
Think about how it affects
my head's in the clouds.
Musical artists, man, there was a day and time.
Yeah.
They made so much more money because they were selling albums. Right. And not just streaming singles.
Yeah, and now that's why they have to tour 300 days a year to try to make a living.
Yeah,
they have
try to get you to their table maybe to buy a product, but it's a product you've already heard a million times.
Maybe,
probably.
and even then, I don't know. Physical media now is almost nostalgia. You might buy a vinyl, because you want that thing. It's like a throwback thing.
Books are still going.
Yeah,
the physical books.
So audiobooks didn't kill books.
Well, it would have been ebooks that killed books, but they took over for a while. Then I remember a couple years back, my agent or someone saying it's kind of like half and half. They came back. People I still prefer I don't really read ebooks hardly ever.
Yeah.
My wife does. She has it, but it's you either do or you don't.
Right.
I want the book. I want to put it on my shelf. I want to,
Yeah, that's part of it too. You want that thing.
Right. I interact with it. I mean, I don't talk to it or anything. When I say interact, I don't mean that.
Talk to me, book.
But I mean, I just, my agent used to always say, Robert Wolgemuth, who I've talked about lately and who passed away earlier this year. And he used to always say, he was so great. He was so brilliant. He would say, because he used to travel so much for book meetings and everything. I mean, he was the president of Thomas Nelson at one point, and he was just all over the place. And he said on his bookshelf in his office, he can pull books off and he can find boarding passes in like the first 10 pages. It was just like his talk to you about making sure that you catch them out of the gate.
Yeah.
He was like, if I see a boarding pass in the book, then I know they didn't get me. That's where I put the boarding pass and close the book.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And he would also say...
What did he say about your book? But John, your book...
But you...
There's not a boarding pass in there.
Well, he was so kind to me. I think he was kinder to me than I was. He would always tell me he was...
If he told you that story, then he's not going to be... And your boarding pass is on page 2.
And you, sir. He...
I didn't get past the table of contents.
The other thing he would say was always so fascinating, and it goes back, I want to say interact with books and made me think of this, is he would say, when you're writing proposals, don't ever write in like a plural form. Always write in to a person, to one. But you don't say, readers will find this. It's not.
Right.
Because a book is not an experience between you and people. It's an experience between you and a person. Yeah. So when a person's sitting in a cafe reading your book, it's you and them talking one-on-one. That's good. You get to talk to that one person through your book. So talk to one person. So never write to people. Write to a person. Which I always thought so. It really made it so cool for me. Like, when a person reads that, they're.
That's how we feel about our listeners or listener.
Or we're talking just to you.
Sometimes we feel like sometimes that could be true. And how would you listen to the show, John, if you wanted to?
Well, you would go to talkaboutthatpodcast.com.
You can find all of our archived episodes there and send us a note. I think we're going to read an email later because we got an email from somebody that wanted you to come along to a show. They had a special request. Did you find that?
I saw the request.
See if you can find it, and then maybe we'll read it later in the show.
When is that show, by the way?
It's coming up, John.
Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to send that request through you to the show. Huh?
I don't. It's not the same, though. They want
shipping.
Your presence on it. Well, they don't want just the present, John. They want your presence.
I don't know.
Want that, preach?
Some of y'all out there just want the presents. What you don't want is the presents.
You're just being so transactional. You don't. John, speaking of transactional, we got people here that help us keep the lights on. We appreciate them. Let's hear a few words from our fine sponsors.
And we're back, Jonnie. I do want to take a moment. Jonnie brought me a gift today.
Yeah.
And it's pretty special.
You could have showed it to the camera, but now you got your headphones on. Can you? You can take a minute and go grab it. I want you to show it to the... This is all the reason to watch on video.
Yeah, I'm going to get it. I can't hear you people.
Go to our YouTube channel and you can see what he's holding up here.
It's going to take me a second to get my...
This is a disaster.
So anyway, Jonnie... Last time we were on the show, I believe. Sorry, hold on, wrong year. Last time we were on the show, there it goes. I was invited by Jonnie to the Grand Ole Opry to perform. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I turned it down, and they brought in Stephen Curtis Chapman. But no, this is Jonnie brought me a picture of me and Jonnie with Stephen Curtis Chapman. Yeah. You can see it right now on the YouTube video if you like. But
that's us.
It was great. I mean, he wouldn't really talk to me,
Like a hulking figure next to Stephen Curtis.
He is short.
Yeah.
In a good way, though.
Well, maybe you could have said, like, well, I'm 6'2", so I guess he's
normal size.
No, I'm saying, but you could have said, like, I'm 6'2". You could have been like, well, he's... Yeah. John Acuff does that a lot, because John Acuff is pretty short, and so whenever he stands next to, like, a normal height person, he looks really little, and he goes, man, they must have been 7 foot tall. He always makes a big joke of it.
By the way, he was so nice.
Yeah.
So nice.
Couldn't have been nicer. And you went to your seat because I didn't think I was going to get us a moment with us all together. He was his call time was a little later. The show had already started when his call time was, and I was like, oh man, because you guys got there early, and I was like, maybe we'll get to meet Stephen Curtis before the show, and then we didn't. And then when he came in, you guys were already in your seats, and so I just kind of walked over and I was like, hey, and anyway, he was so nice.
Yeah.
He came in to meet my wife and our friend Mary Beth, and he was talking to he talked to us for like 10 minutes about the Opry, and I told him that I said, Curry goes, Jonnie has sang I Will Be Here at so many weddings, including our wedding. And he goes, oh boy. And he goes, I hear from guys all the time. I didn't tell you this, but he goes, I hear from guys all the time. He goes, they're mad at me about that song. I go, why? He goes, because it's so many words to remember, because every chorus is different.
Yeah, it is.
And you're at the most nervous day of your life.
Yeah.
He goes, I wrote this song, but the choruses keep changing. And so it's a lot of room for error in that song. Yeah. And he goes, that's my bad. And so he was just so funny and so just like a super humble guy and everything you would want.
Yeah.
It's one of those like, don't meet your heroes kind of, it proves it wrong. Because every now and again you meet one of your heroes and you're like, all right, man.
Yeah. And again, we had a mutual friend who passed away that I'd written for, and we talked about him a little bit. And he was like, oh my gosh, I remember him talking about you. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
He was like, he hated you. I was like, oh,
yeah,
wow,
that's
awkward.
A weird thing to hear. Right before a photo op.
Yeah. No, but he was great.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah, thank you for that. And thanks for the picture.
That was you're welcome, buddy. I got one from me at my house too. I had 2 printed.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe you could hang it on the wall on the set. But
this wall is about to be filled with pictures. Yeah, get ready.
I believe it when I see it.
Get ready. Although I've really enjoyed the clean space in here. Like I think I work pretty well in it, but I don't know. So I'm in a manuscript writing.
Have you seen the video of the thing where the guy goes, he's watching I can't remember, it says like, remember why you do it. He's looking at his computer and it's like a backwards of a photo and it's like, remember why you do what you do. And he's like, he picks up the photo and he looks at it and then it pans around to show what the photo is and it just says IRS on the, it's just like a big Internal Revenue Service logo.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
I love it. Hey, John, I think it's about that time.
Oh, okay, good.
It's my segment. We call it They Talked About That. You know what? Today, I picked up a book recently that's one of my favorites and started reading it again because I don't know if you could read this book too many times. It's Ragamuffin Gospel.
Yeah, Brennan Manning.
Brennan Manning. And
I think a lot of people, you told me that it was printed originally in 1990, which surprised me because I remember it became real prevalent in like 2000-ish.
Yeah.
Right after Rich Mullins.
I think they re-released it. It has 3
Rich Mullins
copyright.
passed, and he was a big Brennan Manning disciple.
He's on the cover.
Yeah,
Rich
so that
Mullins,
they kind of were like, once Rich Mullins became a Brennan Manning guy, a lot of people started becoming way more aware of his writings.
Yeah.
And I think so when they did the re-release of the book, and then it became like, runaway bestseller.
Yeah, it has 3 copyright dates, 1990, 2000, 2005.
Interesting.
So interesting. But I'm just going to read. He has a little preface called A Word Before. And I'm just telling you, I know this is a little longer normal quote, but it's just worth it.
Okay.
It's so good. The Ragamuffin Gospel was written with a specific reading audience in mind. This book is not for the super spiritual. It is not for muscular Christians who have made John Wayne and not Jesus their hero. It is not for academics who would imprison Jesus in the ivory tower of exegesis. It is not for noisy, feel-good folks who manipulate Christianity into a naked appeal to emotion. It is not for hooded mystics who want magic in their religion. It is not for Alleluia Christians who live only on the mountaintop and have never visited the valley of desolation. It is not for the fearless and tearless. It is not for red-hot zealots who boast with the rich young ruler of the Gospels, all these commandments I've kept from my youth. It is not for the complacent who hoist over their shoulders a tote bag of honors, diplomas, and good works, actually believing they have made it. It is not for legalists who would rather surrender control of their souls to rules than run the risk of living in union with Jesus. If anyone is still reading along, the Ragamuffin Gospel was written for the bedraggled, beat up, and burnt out. It is for the sorely burdened who are still shifting the heavy suitcase from one hand to the other. It is for the wobbly and weak-kneed who don't know they have it all together, who know they don't have it all together, and are too proud to accept the handout of amazing grace. It is for inconsistent, unsteady disciples whose cheese has fallen off their cracker. It is for poor, weak, sinful men and women with hereditary faults and limited talents. It is for earthen vessels who shuffle along on feet of clay. It is for the bent and the bruised who feel that their lives are a grave disappointment to God. It is for smart people who know they are stupid and honest disciples who admit they are scalawags. The Ragamuffin Gospel is a book I wrote for myself and anyone who has grown weary and discouraged along the way.
Wow.
Brennan Manning. It's one of those, like, I couldn't pull one little part of that.
Unbelievable.
But I mean, I think he talks about how in the first chapter, just the word grace, how it's been commercialized, used, twisted, and how it doesn't land in any sort of way in the American gospel in the way that our ancestors would have heard it, especially, coming into the Enlightenment, and he goes into what Martin Luther, because I believe the Enlightenment began when Martin Luther made this specific revelation that he writes about in terms of what grace was and the righteousness of God is. And I just, I got to speak Sunday to the church, and it was on Low Sunday. And Low Sunday is, that week between the resurrection, or the week immediately following the resurrection. So much happens. You got the road to Emmaus. You got doubting Thomas. I spoke about doubting Thomas on Sunday. You have all these things that are post the greatest hope of all mankind, of all the universe, and yet there's still so much confusion. The disciples are still hiding out. They're still worried about being arrested. They're still doubting. They're still questioning. Jesus is still not predictable. He's not with them all the time. He just shows up randomly in rooms and other things. He's still not, like, you would think if he's resurrected, okay, that's it, man. The game's over.
Mm-hmm.
Like now the king has everyone knows, and he doesn't do that. He appears to a lot of people, but not for the purpose of taking power like they wanted to, ending the suffering of the world, in particular for them, the Roman rule and all those things. And I think about how it was in that state that he was going to send them to receive the Holy Spirit and then go straight out to do the work. There wasn't like, now take 3 years and meditate on all the things I've said, like he sent them out broken.
Mm-hmm.
Like as Brennan Manning just described, he sent out men and women like that. They weren't qualified. And when I was younger, and I talked about this a little bit, there are just things you cannot learn through knowledge. You can only learn through time and experience. And there are just questions you can't even ask before experiences. And it's not wrong. It's not bad. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means that's the nature of it. Life is meant to be filled with experiences that teach you, And it's only now when I feel, the reason I read that is I feel very much in alignment with the descriptions, and it hurts. It's not the good feeling that when you're young and you think, man, I hope I get to, grow in humility, or I get to grow in my, reliance and dependence upon Jesus.
Yeah.
I've yet to, I think, break through sometimes to the joy of that. But the Lord, I think, deals with me of the awareness of, yes, that is happening. You actually are so desperate, you rely upon me way more than you ever used to. You also, also have no sense of confidence in anything related to myself. That's one I didn't see coming. I didn't know how that would feel, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I just encourage anybody listening that the more that I love that last line, who are smart enough to know that they're stupid, right? Real emotional or spiritual, I think, insight, intelligence, maturity, I don't know what you want to call it, but, it can only come, and I forget which theologian wrote about this. I think it was maybe John Calvin, when he talked about no humble person can ever truly be aware of it. For the moment they were aware of it, it would now be something they could boast about to themselves. So I'm not claiming, I don't feel like I've arrived at any sort of humility even. Like at this point, it just feels like chaos a lot around. And there's a prayer that was inscribed in a cave they found from like the 2nd century in the desert, from the desert fathers and mothers, that just says 3 times, Lord Jesus, Son of God, have mercy on me. And that's the prayer I find myself praying the most. legitimately, sometimes in tears, just have mercy, through life and through where I am. And I just did not expect to be late 40s being there. And I'm finding, I think, that I need to be grateful for that.
Yeah.
Because I think you're closer to the real thing whenever you're there.
When you get to your 50s like me, you'll see.
Oh, you'll
cross
all
over.
just, yeah. And you're like, now I got it.
There's a point.
That was easy.
I used to be where you are, John. No, I'm just kidding. I know what you mean. No, I know exactly what you mean. No, I loved that line about wearily moving the suitcase from hand to hand. Like, that's a really interesting way to talk about, like, the burden. It's really fascinating. Bent over, the cheese is falling off your cracker. There's so many great word pictures there.
I am also legitimately jealous of his ability to write.
Yeah,
you're like, dude, what the heck, man? Save some for the rest of us.
It's so smart, but it's so accessible at the same time. That's what's really interesting about it. It doesn't feel highfalutin. It's very, that's the whole point of that book, which is, it's a must read. It's a must read. If you're going to read that also, then in relation to Rich Mullins, go read An Arrow Pointing Toward Heaven, which is kind of a biography about Rich Mullins by one of his friends. It's worth reading. It's a fascinating character study on Rich and his belief system. I was talking with a friend who toured with us, a new friend, who was presenting on behalf of Compassion. He's a Christian artist. We were talking about Rich Mullins and his legacy in the Christian music industry and what he would think of today and all of those things, political and otherwise. But those were fascinating conversations. I was grateful to have those with him. And we were just talking about Rich, and who basically took a vow of poverty with some friends. So his ministry, his musical royalties is still supporting endeavors that he started that he set up when he was alive, because he basically gave himself like a $30,000 a year salary along with some other friends and did not make any more money than that the last 10 years of his life.
When all of his stuff blew up.
Yeah. So when everything was happening, he knew this will be toxic to my soul if I don't set this up. And so he did. So there's still Indian reservations, and there's still, amazing things that are happening because of Rich Mullins' life. So anyway, fascinating.
Yep. Love it.
John, let's move forward with my segments. Let's do old jokes. We call it joke about that. We call it. We'll get there, John.
We're pros.
It's a tough day. Yeah. Listen, we took a week off. What do you want from us?
Yeah.
John, a guy goes to the doctor and says, "Doc, I can't get that song, 'She's a Lady,' out of my head. It keeps repeating and repeating, and it just won't go away." The doctor says, "I think this sounds like a case of Tom Jones syndrome." The guy says, "I never heard of that. Is it rare?" The doctor says, "It's not unusual." I can't believe you didn't see that coming. Okay. It's not unusual. That's a kind of a dated joke. It's an old joke. Yeah. That makes us feel it, but I don't care. It made me laugh.
Yeah.
John, a man's looking for organic vegetables for his mother-in-law. He looks in the produce aisle but can't find any. He asks the stock boy, "These veggies are for my mother-in-law. Have they been sprayed with poisonous chemicals?" The stock boy says, "No, you'll have to do that yourself." And finally, John,
I did see that one.
Since we're headed down a dark path, a man who has just died is brought to the mortuary wearing an expensive, beautifully tailored black suit. By the way, this came from one of our listeners, Paul Joseph, who follows us and used to play with Mylon Lefevre. He came to my show and he sent us notes many times. It's great. Grammy Award-winning keyboard player.
Wow.
And he sent me this and said, "This may be a little too dark," but he sent it anyway. And I said, "I'm reading it on the show." And so he gets credit for this one. It's not his joke, but he gets credit for the presenting of it. A man who's just died is brought to the mortuary wearing an expensive, beautifully tailored black suit. The mortician asked the widow how she'd like her husband dressed for the viewing. He mentions that he already looks quite nice in the black suit. The widow says, "No, he always looked best in blue." She hands the mortician a blank check and says, "I don't care how much it costs, but just please have my husband in a blue suit for the viewing." The next day she returns for the wake and is stunned to find him in a beautiful blue suit with a subtle stripe for the viewing. Perfectly fitted. She says, "This is incredible. You did an excellent job. How much did it cost?" The mortician hands back the blank check. "Nothing at all." "What do you mean nothing?" she asks. "I insist on paying you." He smiles and says, "Well, another gentleman of your husband's size was brought in shortly after you left, and he happened to be wearing a very nice blue suit. I asked his wife if she minded him going to his grave wearing a black suit instead, and she said it made no difference as long as he looked nice." So at that point, he says, it was really just a matter of switching the heads.
Oh, dear. Well, it is dark.
Yeah, you had no idea where that was going. That's called the old switcheroo.
Yeah,
in punchline
literally.
and the old head switcheroo.
Ooh,
anyway, not my joke.
No,
everybody, send your
don't
cards
send
and letters to
letters,
John at John. I'm just kidding. John, let's close with This Week in History. We call it Talk About Then. It's just a matter of switching the heads.
See, guys, it's okay.
Whew.
Yeah.
John, this week we celebrate Income Tax Day.
Celebrate.
I don't know if we celebrate it,
Okay.
but IRS Appreciation Day, if you will. The first U.S. income tax was signed into law as a 3% tax on incomes over $800, effective January 1st, 1861. It was repealed and replaced with another income tax on 1862. So it wasn't like they repealed it and was like, we got to get rid of this. It's corrupt. They were like, hey, let's raise it. Let's go ahead and keep it going. Keep that energy going. But I thought it was interesting. So yeah, this is obviously tax week for a lot of people. Most people, if you're American. Hopefully you're not. Hopefully you're filing.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and file.
Yeah.
Don't listen. Even if you're Wesley Snipes, they'll throw you in jail.
Yeah, no.
You got to file.
They don't mess around.
They don't mess around there. But anyway, yeah, 3% tax on incomes over, and as we know, it stayed that level. We've kept it under control. The government has shown a remarkable, some temperance in that area.
Yeah,
and they've not gone overboard at all.
Mm-mm.
And I think they're to be commended for that. Thank you, federal government. John, this week.
Oh, by the way, I love what they've chosen to spend all the money on.
Don't you think?
I mean, it's really...
Yeah.
It's exactly what I would have wanted.
Yeah. Listen, healthcare would be great, but we're good. Let's get some missiles in this thing. Let's get some more missiles. Can't have enough of those.
Too soon.
John, this week, 1955, Ray Kroc opened his first McDonald's franchise in Des Plaines, Illinois. Or is it Des Plaines? Des Plaines.
I don't...
It looks like Des Plaines.
Illinois and...
Des Plaines. Looks like Des Moines, but with Des Plaines. His first day sales were $366.12. This is 1955.
That's not bad.
It was the 9th restaurant in the chain, started in 1940 by the brothers Dick McDonald and Maurice Mack McDonald in San Bernardino, California. Kroc had met the McDonald's brothers while trying to sell them multi-mixers, I guess for their shakes. After seeing their operation, he decided to open one of his own and eventually bought out the brothers and built McDonald's into the hamburger empire it is now. You've seen The Founder, right, with Michael Keaton. Interesting movie, fascinating movie. Kind of weird, like an anti-hero kind of a presentation of that history.
Yeah.
So it's not all shiny, which I find interesting when you do see these biopics. The McDonald brothers introduced the Speedy service system in 1948. The original McDonald's mascot was a chef hat on top of a hamburger called Speedy. Speedy was replaced in 1962 by the Golden Arches. The clown Ronald McDonald was then introduced in 1965. So the clown was not the original.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's kind of creepy. I think we find clowns, it's a different thing for clowns, right?
Yeah, I think back then clowns were like, hey, clown.
Oh, let's get kids involved.
Yeah.
Let's get our kids out here.
Now you're like,
Happy Meals and
what's the deal with
such.
this clown?
Yeah, get this clown out of here.
Yeah.
John, this week, 1912. What's your favorite fast food place, by the way? Do you do McDonald's ever? Do you have a McDonald's drive-thru guy?
Sometimes.
When's the last time you've been to McDonald's with Sadie after a game?
I was on a McDonald's kick for breakfast a few weeks back. Where I was
What's your
breakfast
sandwich?
burritos in the morning.
Oh, is that what it is?
Breakfast burritos
Not a McGriddle?
I like a McGriddle,
McGriddle.
but I feel like a breakfast burrito
Little
is
syrup
for some reason it's a better choice.
Those little dots of syrup in there.
I ate the hash brown anyway, like an animal.
I know.
No, I like McDonald's, but I'm not ashamed.
Yeah.
To say that.
It's okay.
I don't go get it very often.
There's a lot of shame associated with like being a part of like a corporation that's made it to that level, and you go, oh, they're a soulless whatever.
Yeah.
But then sometimes you go, yeah, but I mean, like people act like they're ashamed to be ever seen in Walmart, and you're like, dude, just go to Walmart. If you need to get something from Walmart,
a quarter pounder with cheese.
Yeah,
that's a good burger.
Yeah.
Now, is it Five Guys good? I don't know. There's two different things. You're having two different experiences.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. I hope neither one of those are sponsors because we're having although Five Guys, I guess, because we just gave them a glowing review. They just dump those fries out, don't they?
It's the fries.
You go have the small fry and they just go, here you go. Here's 1,000 fries.
Yeah, no, that's where it gets me. So
it's too many. They give you so much. You go, I guess I have to finish these.
I have to do this in order.
It's my civic duty. John, this week, 1912, unfortunately, the sinking of the Titanic. And there were some facts about the Titanic in here that I don't think I realized. Even though we've seen, you've seen the documentaries, you've seen the movie with Leo DiCaprio, which is all, completely factually correct. At 2:20 a.m., the unsinkable, quote, RMS Titanic sinks, killing. Do you know how many people died of the 2,238 people, John? Do you want to take a guess?
1,500?
1,517. Good call. I didn't know. I knew there was people that survived, but I didn't realize 1,500 of the 2,000. So you had 700 or so survivors. The Titanic had struck an iceberg, of course, in the North Atlantic shortly before midnight while on her maiden voyage from, do you want to know where it was from? Do you remember the voyage?
Liverpool?
Southampton, UK, to
New York
City.
Yeah.
This is the part that, and the reason why it makes the list, I don't know if I realized this. His name was Masabumi Hasona. He was the only Japanese passenger, and he survived. He was the only Japanese passenger aboard, and he survived. But he was ostracized the rest of his life in Japan as dishonorable and a coward for not going down with the ship. This wasn't like he was the captain.
Wow.
I get if you're the captain, you go down with the ship. That's kind of the weird misnomer. But this is just a dude. And his cult, I get honor culture to a degree. But wow, you survive and you get home and they go, you should be dead.
Yeah, but did someone else not survive who should have because
we need more information.
Women and children
it did not sound like it in this sentence, but maybe there's more to the story where he jumped on a lifeboat and shouldn't have been.
If he took some little kid's seat right and they died, then I can understand to some extent.
I need to know more. We're going to find out, and we're going to touch base about it next week.
Oh,
somebody's going to send 5 emails about it. Actually,
yeah, that's good. We like those emails.
We do like them, and please send those to hello at talkaboutthatpodcast.com. But what a weird thing to survive and then be, like you said, if there was nothing else to the story. If it's just like, I survived, I happen to be Japanese, and now I get to be this guy. They're like, oh, you survived? Well, you shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Like, what a bummer that would be.
Yeah.
Anyway,
they had a story yesterday that they're still exploring the Titanic wreckage.
Yeah.
And the technology keeps getting greater and greater. Well, they found recently there was this, I think it was a brass, gold, copper, some sort of really important statue that was a part of the ship.
Sure.
And they saw it on some video in like 1983 or something for a minute. And then it's been lost since the 80s. And they found it again in the wreckage. Wow. So they haven't pulled it up, I don't think.
Were they going down with drones or something? Like
robots
a robot?
But
a sea drone? I don't know what you call those. Submersible? Yeah. John, this week, 1770, the first rubber eraser was used. English chemist Joseph Priestley referring to rubber, described it in a footnote. I have seen a substance excellently adapted to the purpose of wiping from paper the mark of black lead pencil, thus discovering the use of rubber as an eraser. Prior to that rubber eraser, breadcrumbs were generally used as erasers. Did you know this from your search of? You're a writer. You should know everything that's been used as erasers over the years. Breadcrumbs.
I don't write with pencils right now, so
I guess they used quills too, but I guess they were using lead pencils, and they were like, "How can we? I need a redo."
Yeah.
And then they go, "How about some bread?"
Yeah, rub some bread on it.
Rub some bread on it, you guys.
Yeah.
And then they discovered that later that year, English engineer Edward Nairn developed the first widely used marketed rubber eraser. So, and I guess we still use them. So that's like one of those 1770. We've kind of we've not really.
You nailed it.
Yeah. But most people use computers now and pens. We
use pencils still.
And there's even erasable pens. Remember the first erasable pens? Erasermate?
Not only do I, but yes.
Yeah, that wasn't that technology.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works.
I don't either.
It's just really crappy ink, probably.
It just fades really easily.
It's just awful ink. It was going to erase itself anyway. Hope you didn't write anything you wanted to refer back to.
That was my will. Nope,
not anymore. Erasermate. John, this week, 1964, the Ford Mustang, the new sports car, the Mustang officially went on sale.
Technically, it would have been the 1964 and a half Mustang.
I guess.
That's what they call it.
Yeah. At a base price of, you want to guess?
Mustang is 64 and a half?
Yeah.
$6,000.
$2,368. And I looked it up. So we'll go over there in a minute. But it sold an industry record of 417,000 units its first year. It was originally intended to be a mid-engine two-seater roadster, but that changed when the sales of the Thunderbird increased after adding a back seat. So they quickly kind of remodified it and made it a back seat. More of that. So because they wanted, hey, this could be a family car if we really. In $2,368 in 1964, I looked it up, is equivalent in purchasing power to approximately, John, you want to guess what that car would be today?
$16,000.
$24,000, almost $25,000, $24,962. So it's a 25. But again, if there was a car, there is a Mustang now, but it's whatever, the Mach E or whatever the Mustang is now. Most cars now are like $40,000. Like it's hard to find a $25,000.
Oh, minimum.
That's what I'm saying. A $25,000 car for a Mustang?
Yeah.
Would be pretty good deal.
Yeah. Number one, big Mustang guy.
That's why I made the list.
My brother had a 67, and when my car broke down, he let me drive that my senior year. So I had a candy apple red 67 Mustang that I drove. And you know what? And I've done a lot of old cars. It was great. It looked great. Yeah. Also, it might run out of gas on a quarter of a tank. Old cars do weird stuff. So you're pushing it up a hill.
It had some.
It bottom out on speed bumps.
But it's
stuff.
older by then, so it had some. It was 30 years old by then.
But it looked amazing.
Yeah.
Now my brother now has one. It's like a 66, I think.
Oh, it has
it's pristine. Like I went in his garage over Easter and looked at it again. I go look at it every time.
My brother-in-law has a mid-60s, early 60s Corvette.
Oh wow!
And it's like perfect.
Yeah.
I think he's never washed it. That's how.
Wow.
Like he wipes it with a cloth diaper, and it's that. It keeps it under a thing, and he drives it twice a year in parades and stuff, and goes to car shows with it. But that's it.
My brother is like, they're empty nesting now.
Yeah.
And he's like, now we take the top. It's a convertible.
Oh, and they actually go.
We'll go drive out.
That's cool.
Go out, drive it in town, and get some ice
that's
cream
how it should
together.
Be.
I was like, man.
And then you get ice cream. You go, we got ice cream all over. Yeah. But, oh well. John, this week, 1452, Leonardo da Vinci was born. He was an Italian artist. His works include The Last Supper and the Mona Lisa, but he made the list because he's also the discoverer of capillary action in 1490 and the inventor of roller bearings in 1496. Now listen, this is a Renaissance guy.
Yeah.
I knew that, wasn't there some drawings of Da Vinci that helped with human flight too?
He
and there's crazy,
airplane.
there's crazy stuff that he did.
Yeah. A glider, probably.
But he discovered that capillary action, I think, is the action of blood climbing up like a straw, like it will move. I think that's what capillary action is. It's not just the movement within the vein. I think it's outside. I think that's what capillary action is. Like when they take blood from you and they put those little straws against the wound and it climbs up. I think that's what capillary action is. I could be wrong. But anyway,
they use straws.
He's discovering a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think I'll paint The Last Supper and the Mona Lisa too.
Yeah. And didn't he paint the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel?
That was Michelangelo.
Oh, sorry. Who are we talking about?
Da Vinci.
My bad. Yes, I knew that, guys.
Yeah. Also starred in the Da Vinci Code, which was a great Tom Hanks movie.
Yeah.
We're merging culture into amalgam. It's a mess. We apologize. John, finally, in a more whimsical tone, this week, 1980, Winnie the Pooh went on trial.
1980.
You ready for this one? A Disneyland character actor appeared in court wearing a Winnie the Pooh costume. A family claimed that the actor had purposely struck their daughter while in the park, causing bruising and headaches that lasted for months. The actor claimed the girl had been acting out and running to attack him when he accidentally hit her with his ear. The actor appeared in court.
The Winnie the Pooh ear? Or his real ear?
His Winnie the Pooh ear. And that's why he appeared in court wearing his costume and remained in character while testifying, which had to be amazing. This is pre-court TV, but I mean...
Is he trying to preserve the kid's innocence?
He had to do the voice. He remained in character while testifying. Oh, my. Only responding to questions with gestures and dancing.
Oh, wow.
It was demonstrated that it would be impossible to do what the family claimed while wearing the costume, and the actor was found not guilty.
Wow. And
that's like some Perry Mason stuff.
Yeah.
That's like some Johnny Cochran.
Like Matlock
if the head fits.
Yeah. Then we know.
Anyway, that's amazing. He wore the costume and with gestures and dancing Stayed in character the whole time, and then the lawyers were able to kind of wrangle kind of a not guilty verdict.
Hey, can I tell you something? You know what's going to save America?
What's that?
We need to keep our character and a little more gestures and dancing. Well,
that's all we need.
Dancing.
Won't that preach?
We have the gestures right now.
We got too many gestures. Yeah.
Ixnay on the Esther J.
We need some happiness. We need what we need. I mean, gosh, there's a great A.A. Milne as Winnie the Pooh quote that I thought of, and I think of it now. You know, we took Adam Bush out on the road with us this past week, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't take a lot of openers out. It's just not been a thing that I've been able to do. But now I'm starting to do it more. And I think about the community that I've found in comedy as well. You know, did the open mic or went and did this show and run into Greg Warren and you run into all these people and you hang out with Amber Autry, who's an up-and-coming star, and you just go. And I was thinking about this Winnie the Pooh quote, and you've probably seen this graphic. It's Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. And Winnie the Pooh says, or maybe Piglet says to Winnie the Pooh, what do you think is more important, the journey or the destination? And Piglet says that to Pooh, and Pooh says, the company.
Wow.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
So and that's the thing. We live in a country that's so driven to, like, hustle culture is just taking everything. And so even when we achieve something, we're looking to the next achievement. And so literally that's the false duality we're presented with is it the journey or the destination?
Is it the experience or the achievement?
And the truth is, it is neither.
Yeah.
Because at the end of your life, you're going to think about the people around you.
Yeah.
You're going to think about, who did I surround myself with while I was chasing these dumb things?
Yeah.
And so I'm telling you, man, that hits me. I mean, that's one of those, like...
That's good.
Yeah. You could build a whole philosophy on that.
Literally just rewrote an old book I wrote in my head whenever you said that. So.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, because
I probably need some revisions.
Never released it.
Yeah, okay.
So there's still time.
There is still time, John.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm glad to have you in my company, John, today.
You was all my friend.
Not to get so sentimental on you. I don't want to, let's not try to make anybody weep.
No, it's fine. Hey, friends are supposed to love each other.
Friends are friends
right
forever.
there in the Bible.
Friends are friends. I think Stephen Curtis Chapman said, friends are friends. Wait,
that is not
that was
Stephen.
Michael W. Smith.
Saddle up your horses.
That's
some old school Stephen Curtis.
Yeah, buddy.
That was what,
We got a trail to blaze.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to sit with him and talk about how do you feel about the old songs?
Yeah, I mean, he'd probably be like, you see this house we're sitting in?
I feel great.
I feel pretty good. No. I
think he would say, all these kids are helping get adopted. That's why I think
he seems like somebody that's pretty at peace with his legacy.
Yeah.
As a performer and a man. So.
Fan, I just put out a book. Like right after I met him.
Yeah. And you didn't write that book.
It's twice now.
Listen though. Now you've met though.
Yeah.
The fuse has been lit, buddy.
Hey, when the third one comes out, and
remember that weird guy at the Opry? Let's have him write the next one.
Search the internet and scrub the pictures.
Yeah. It's fine.
Well, hey, Johnny, if they want to learn more about the show or find more episodes, what do they do?
Talkaboutthatpodcast.com. You find all the archived episodes, and we appreciate that. There's even a link where you can just go to your favorite streamer and subscribe there. All the audio episodes. If you want to find video episodes, you can watch them there on the show. Go to our YouTube channel, subscribe there. We love hearing from you. You can support the show. Click on that Patreon link. It says support. We love our supporters. Thanks so much for everything you do. And that's how you get ad-free content if you want ad-free shows. Yeah, you guys should also check out JonnieW.com. Tour dates coming all over the country. Go see Johnny live. We're near Little Rock. We're near Jonesboro, Arkansas. We're going to Cleburne, Texas, near Dallas. And we're going to Crosby, which is near Houston. That's coming up next week. Those tickets are still available at JonnieW.com. Those shows are going to be great. They've been so fun. Adam Bush is on those shows with us. Yeah. And Christian McCartney, who's a big YouTube and TikTok sensation. 6 or 7 million followers of this guy. Amazing. Yeah. Anyway, he's on those shows. Come. They've been such a blast to perform with. So come to those shows. And that's coming up April 23rd through 26th. Yeah. Tickets at JonnieW.com. Check it out, guys. It's a lot of fun. Guys, thanks for the time you gave us today. It's good to be back in the saddle with you guys. We'll do it for real next week here on Talk About That.